Hi everyone, listen up, because what I'm about to tell you can change everything. You're sitting here right now wondering how life got so tough or why you're stuck where you are. But let me tell you something straight. You are just one decision away from a totally different life. One decision. That's all it takes. Look, I want to start by telling you something real simple, but powerful. Your current situation doesn't define you. Now, I know what you're thinking. You've been through hell and back. Maybe you lost your job, got hurt in a relationship, or life just hasn't been fair to you. And I get it. I know it's easy to look at where you are right now and feel like that's all there is for you. Like you're stuck, like this is your story. This is your life, and it's written in stone. But let me tell you, it ain't. Life doesn't work like that. Just because you're in a tough place today doesn't mean you're trapped there forever. The moment you believe your past or your current struggles define you, that's when you stop growing. That's when you let fear win. And I know fear is a sneaky enemy. It whispers lies in your ear. You're too broken. You're too late. You don't deserve better. But you gotta fight back, because those lies aren't the truth. Here's the truth. Your situation is temporary. It may feel permanent. It may feel overwhelming, but it's not permanent. You've got the power to change the direction of your life, starting right now. And it starts with one thing: your mindset. How you see yourself and your circumstances will either hold you back or set you free. See, a lot of folks get stuck in what I call the victim mindset. They say things like, that's just how I am, or I'm too old to change, or I'm never going to get out of this mess. But let me ask you, who told you that? Who said you have to stay in a place of pain, fear, or regret? No one. You have the choice to decide differently. You can say, I'm not my mistakes. I'm not my failures. I'm more than my circumstances. You've heard the saying that pressure makes diamonds, right? Well, let me tell you something. Pressure can also crush you if you don't learn how to handle it. But when you realize that your circumstances are just pressure, just challenges meant to test your strength, you start to see yourself in a new light. You start to see yourself as a diamond in the making. You start to believe that your best days are ahead, not behind you. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine a caterpillar. Right now, you might feel like that caterpillar crawling on the ground, limited by your current situation. But the caterpillar doesn't stay there forever. It goes through the struggle of transformation inside that cocoon. It gets uncomfortable. It faces change. It goes through a process. And when it comes out, it's a butterfly flying high, free, beautiful, a whole new creature. You can be that butterfly, but you got to make the decision to go through the struggle, to grow, to not settle for the life you're living right now. I'm telling you this because I want you to stop underestimating yourself. I want you to stop thinking your current life is all you're ever going to have. You have more inside you than you know. You have untapped potential, dreams waiting to come alive, and a future that's brighter than anything you can see right now. The people who have made it through hard times didn't do it by accepting their situation. No, they made a decision that this moment was not going to be there forever. They decided to rise up, to fight, to keep pushing even when it was easier to give up. That decision, that mindset, changed everything for them. And it can do the same for you. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be easy. Change never is. But I promise you this: if you can change your mindset about your situation, if you can start seeing yourself as a person worthy of a better life, then the door opens. Suddenly, opportunities start to appear here. Suddenly, you start making better decisions, taking better actions, surrounding yourself with better people. Because when you believe you deserve better, your whole world starts to shift. Remember, your past doesn't get to write your future unless you let it. You have the power to take control and rewrite your story. Maybe you've made some mistakes. Maybe you've taken some wrong turns, but that doesn't mean the book is finished. It means you're holding the pen, and every new page is yours to create. So the question is, are you ready to stop letting your current situation define you? Are you ready to make a decision that your story is far from over and that your future can be completely different? Because here's the secret. You're not the sum of your past failures or struggles. You're the sum of your decisions going forward. It's about deciding today that you're going to believe in yourself again, that you're going to stand up and say, I'm not where I want to be, but I'm on my way. That you're going to push past fear, doubt, and everything that's holding you back. That's the power of one decision. Your life can change. It starts with you deciding it will. Your current situation is just a chapter, not the whole story. All right, listen up. I want to talk to you about something that's real important. It's this simple truth: your decisions shape your destiny. Now, that might sound like some big fancy idea, but it's really straightforward. Every single thing you have in your life today, your success, your struggles, your relationships, your happiness, it all comes down to the choices you made along the way. Not luck, not fate, not some random chance. It's the decisions. You see, people often get caught up thinking, man, I'm just unlucky. Or that's just how my life is. But that's just a story your mind is telling you when it's scared to take responsibility. The truth is, your life is a reflection of your decisions. If you don't like where you're at, the first place you gotta look is in the mirror. What decisions did you make that got you here? And what decisions can you start making right now that'll take you somewhere better? Let me break it down for you. Imagine life like a road. Every day, you're at a crossroads, standing at an intersection with different paths ahead of you. The path you take depends on the decision you make in that moment. Some choices lead to success, some to failure. Some lead to growth, some to pain. But here's the catch. You got to make a choice. Standing still, being indecisive, that's a decision too. A decision to stay exactly where you are. And that's why so many people don't change. Because they don't want to decide. They want life to just happen to them. They want to blame somebody or something else for their problems. But that's not how life works. If you want a different future, you got to make a different decision, period. I want you to think about the people you admire, the ones who made it big, the ones who changed their lives. What do you think got them there? Was it luck, or was it the decision to never give up? The decision to work harder than anyone else? The decision to believe in themselves even when nobody else did? Every success story starts with a decision. The decision to try one more time. The decision to say no to negative influences. The decision to walk away from things that don't serve you anymore. And that's powerful because it means your destiny isn't something out there that you have to wait on. It's something you create with your decisions every day. Now, I'm not saying it's easy. Some decisions come with risk. Some decisions mean you got to leave your comfort zone, face your fears, and do things you never thought you could do. But let me tell you, nothing worth having ever comes easy. You got to be willing to take the risk, to make the hard decisions if you want to live a life that's different from the one you've got now. And don't get it twisted. Bad decisions happen. Everybody makes mistakes, but the difference between those who succeed and those who don't is what they do after that decision. Do they keep going? Do they learn? Or do they quit? Your destiny is shaped not just by the decisions you make, but by the decisions you make after you mess up. Here's something else I want you to understand. Every decision has consequences. Some will be good, some will be bad. But every consequence teaches you something. It teaches you what to do next time. So even if you make a wrong choice, it's not the end of the road. It's a lesson, a stepping stone toward your destiny. And sometimes the decisions you're scared to make are the ones that change your life the most. Maybe it's deciding to leave a job that's draining you. Maybe it's deciding to finally start that business you've been dreaming about. Maybe it's deciding to forgive someone who hurt you so you can move on. Those big decisions come with fear, but they also come with freedom. You gotta learn to trust yourself. Trust that you're capable of making the right decisions for your life. Trust that even if you stumble, you'll get back up, because that's what destiny is. It's a journey, not a destination. And every decision you make moves you further down the path toward the life you want. So don't wait for permission. Don't wait for everything to be perfect. Start making decisions that align with where you want to go. Even small decisions matter. What you decided to do today, how you treat yourself, who you spend time with, what habits you build, all of that adds up to the destiny you're building. Remember, your destiny is in your hands. It's shaped by what you decide today, tomorrow, and every day after that. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are the captain of your ship. You steer your life where you want it to go by the decisions you make. So here's the bottom line. If you want a totally different life, start by making a different decision. And then keep making those decisions every day until that life becomes your reality. That's the power you have. Use it. All right, now I want to get real with you about something that stops a whole lot of folks from stepping into a better life. Fear. Fear is the biggest enemy you've got standing between you and the decision that could change everything. It's sneaky, it's loud, and it'll whisper lies to you every chance it gets. But you got to learn to recognize fear for what it is, a liar. See, fear comes in many shapes and forms. Sometimes it shows up as doubt, that voice inside your head telling you you're not good enough, not smart enough, or that you'll fail. Sometimes it's the fear of change, because change means leaving the comfortable, even if that comfort is holding you back. And sometimes it's just plain old fear of the unknown. You don't know what's on the other side, so you freeze up and stay stuck where you are. But let me tell you something important. Fear does not get to make your decisions for you. You are bigger than your fear. You have a choice every day whether to let fear control you or to push past it and do what you know you need to do. Here's the thing. Fear wants you to stay small, to stay stuck, to stay safe in that box you've built around yourself. But you weren't born to live small. You weren't meant to play it safe all the time. You were born to grow, to dream, to stretch beyond what you think is possible. The moment you realize fear is just a feeling, not a fact, that's when you start to take control. Fear can't hurt you unless you let it. You see, feelings come and go, but decisions shape your life. So you might feel scared, but you can still decide to move forward. That's courage. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's doing what you need to do even when you're scared to death. I want you to imagine how different your life would be if you made just one decision without letting fear get in the way. What if you decided to start that business, to say no to a toxic relationship, to go back to school, to pick up that phone and ask for help? The possibilities are endless, but fear keeps so many people stuck. Now, I know sometimes fear is powerful. It's loud and convincing. But here's the secret. Fear loses power when you face it head on. When you say, yeah, I'm scared, but I'm going to do it anyway. When you take that first step despite the fear starts to fade. It doesn't disappear completely. Sometimes it'll come back, but each time you confront it, it loses a little more of its grip. Think about every successful person you know. They all had fear, but they didn't let fear stop them. They made decisions with fear sitting right there beside them. And that's the point. Fear doesn't have to be your enemy. It can be your companion as long as you're the one driving the car. You've got to build that muscle. The muscle to say no to fear, no to doubt, no to excuses. You got to get comfortable being uncomfortable because that's where growth happens. If you always wait until fear is gone, you'll be waiting a long time. The truth is, the best things in life are on the other side of fear. But you won't get there unless you decide to walk through it. And that decision, that's where your life changes. So the next time fear shows up, I want you to look it in the eye and say, I see you, but you don't control me. Then take that step. Do the thing you're scared of. Make the decision that scares you the most, because that's how you grow. That's how you change. That's how you live a life that's totally different from the one you have now. Fear is real, but it's not stronger than you. Don't let it keep you stuck. You're stronger than your fear. Use that strength. All right, let me talk to you about something that's absolutely necessary if you want to change your life. Taking responsibility. Now, I don't mean blaming yourself for everything that's gone wrong. That's not what I'm talking about. What I mean is owning your life, owning your choices, and understanding that the power to change is in your hands. Because until you take responsibility for where you are, you'll keep feeling stuck, helpless, like things are happening to you instead of for you. See, a lot of people go through life pointing fingers, blaming their upbringing, their circumstances, other people, bad luck, the economy, whatever it is. And while some things outside your control might have made life harder, at the end of the day, your life belongs to you. You have the power to decide what happens next. But that power only comes when you stop making excuses and start taking ownership. Let me tell you something real. The moment you stop blaming and start owning your life, that's when you step into your power. Because blame is like handcuffs. It keeps you locked up in a place where you can't move. But responsibility is freedom. When you take responsibility, you take control. I know it's not always easy. Sometimes it's tempting to say, it's not my fault. But holding on to that mindset is like carrying around a heavy backpack filled with rocks. It weighs you down, makes you tired, and stops you from moving forward. But when you decide to put that backpack down and carry yourself, you start to feel lighter, stronger, more able to take the next step. Responsibility means you stop waiting for someone else to save you. It means you stop waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect opportunity to come along. It means you realize you've got everything you need inside you to start changing your life right now. And here's the thing, taking responsibility also means forgiving yourself for the mistakes you've made. Because sometimes people don't take responsibility because they're afraid of judgment or failure. But true responsibility is not about beating yourself up. It's about learning, growing, and moving forward. It's about saying, yes, I messed up, but I'm going to do better from now on. When you take responsibility, you also start to make better decisions. Why? Because you understand that your choices have consequences, good and bad, and you're ready to accept those consequences. You don't run away from them or hide. You face them, learn from them, and use them to build a better future. Think about this. When you take full responsibility for your life, you become the leader of your own story. You're no longer a passenger sitting back hoping things will change. You're the one driving the car, choosing the destination, and deciding how fast to go. It might seem scary at first because it means you can't blame anyone else when things don't go your way. But that's also what makes it so powerful. Because when you're responsible, you realize you can also be the one who makes things go right. You're not powerless, you're powerful beyond measure. Sometimes taking responsibility means making tough decisions. Maybe it means leaving a toxic relationship, changing a bad habit, or facing a fear you've been running from. But those tough decisions are what open the door to a totally different life. I want you to understand this. Nobody else can live your life for you. Nobody else can make the hard calls or pick up the pieces if you don't. It's on you. And that's not a burden, it's a blessing, because it means your destiny is in your hand. So if you want to be one decision away from a totally different life, start by taking responsibility for where you are and where you want to go. Stop blaming, stop making excuses, and start owning your life. That's the first step to freedom and true change. And remember, responsibility isn't about being perfect. It's about being honest with yourself and committed to growth. You've got what it takes. Now take responsibility and claim it. Let me share something that a lot of people overlook when they're trying to change their lives. The power of persistence. It's one thing to make a decision, but it's a whole other thing to stick with it when the going gets tough. See, making that decision to change your life is just the start. The real challenge comes in the days, weeks, months after, when you have to keep going even when you don't see results yet, even when things feel hard, and even when the world seems to be pushing against you. You know, life is not always going to be smooth sailing. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. But those who make it, those who truly change their lives, they're the ones who refuse to quit. They keep pushing, keep grinding, keep moving forward no matter what. Persistence means showing up even when you don't feel like it. It means working on your goals day after day, even when the progress is slow or invisible. It means learning from your failures instead of letting them stop you. It means getting up one more time than you fall. I want you to think about the times in your own life when you almost gave up. Maybe you didn't get that job. Maybe a relationship ended. Maybe you failed at something important to you. What if you had quit right there? What would your life look like today? But you didn't quit, did you? Something inside you kept you going, and that's the power of persistence. You've got to understand that persistence is a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. And the stronger it gets, the easier it is to push through obstacles and setbacks. The secret is to keep your eyes on the prize, on the life you want, on the vision that pushed you to make that first decision in the first place. Persistence is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. You can have all the talent and intelligence in the world, but if you don't have persistence, those gifts won't take you far. On the other hand, someone with average talent but unstoppable persistence can beat the odds and reach places you wouldn't believe. And let me be clear, persistence is not about blindly pushing forward without thinking. It's about being smart and flexible while staying committed. It's about adjusting your approach if something isn't working, but never giving up on your goal. It's about keeping the faith that if you keep putting in the work, the results will come. You might have heard the saying, when you're ready to quit, you're usually one step away from success. That's not just some cliche, that's truth. Many people quit just before their breakthrough. Don't be that person. If you want a totally different life, you've got to be willing to keep going when everyone else is walking away. Because persistence builds momentum, and momentum builds results. It's like pushing a heavy boulder. At first it feels impossible, but once it starts rolling, it gets easier and easier. Now, persistence doesn't mean you have to do it all alone. Sometimes it means finding support, mentors, friends, family, who will encourage you to keep going. Sometimes it means asking for help when you need it. But no matter what, you have to be the one to decide to keep showing up. One of the greatest gifts you can give yourself is the gift of perseverance. When you keep going, you prove to yourself that you're stronger than your doubts and fears. You build confidence that you can handle whatever life throws at you. So many people stop just short of their dreams because they lost patience or motivation. Don't let that be you. Your breakthrough could be just around the corner. That next decision to keep going, to push through one more day, one more challenge, that's what changes everything. Remember, every success story you hear is a story of persistence. It's the people who stayed on the path, who refused to quit, who kept working even when it was hard, who ended up winning. You want a totally different life. Keep going. Don't stop. The only way to fail is to give up. Now, let me tell you something that often gets overlooked when we talk about changing your life, the company you keep. You see, the people around you have more power over your life than you might realize. They influence your thoughts, your attitudes, your habits, and ultimately the decisions you make. So if you want to be one decision away from a totally different life, you have to look closely at the people you're surrounding yourself with. You know, there's a saying that goes, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. And that's exactly right. The people you spend time with, the people you listen to, the people you let into your inner circle, they shape who you become. If you're hanging around folks who don't believe in you, who drag you down with negativity, or who are stuck in the same old patterns, guess what? You're likely to stay stuck right there with them. But on the flip side, if you surround yourself with people who lift you up, who inspire you, who challenge you to be better, well, now you're moving in a completely different direction. These people bring out the best in you. They push you to dream bigger, to work harder, and to believe that a different life is possible. Now, I'm not saying you have to cut everybody out of your life who's not perfect or who doesn't have it all figured out. But you do have to be intentional about who you allow to influence you. You've got to protect your energy like it's the most valuable thing you own, because it is. Think about this every conversation you have, every moment you spend with someone. It either builds you up or tears you down. And those moments add up. They shape your mindset and your decisions. So if you want to make decisions that lead to a better life, you need people around you who encourage that. And it's not just about friends or family. It's also about the people you follow on social media, the books you read, the podcasts you listen to. All of those voices are part of your environment. They either feed your dreams or feed your doubts. Be mindful of what you're letting in. Another thing is, sometimes you've got to be willing to let go of relationships that no longer serve your growth. That's hard, I know. But sometimes the hardest decisions are the ones that open the door to a different life. If somebody is constantly bringing drama, negativity, or holding you back, you've got to ask yourself, is this person helping me become who I want to be? If not, it might be time to create some distance. And here's the good news: when you start changing your circle, you start changing your life. You start meeting people who believe in your dreams, who push you to go after them, who celebrate your wins. That kind of support is priceless. It keeps you motivated, accountable, and focused. You also become more confident because you realize you're not alone. There are people who want to see you win. And when you have that kind of community, making the decision to change becomes easier, because now you've got backup. You've got cheerleaders. You've got a team. But remember, it's not just about what others can do for you. It's about what you bring to the table too. Be the kind of person who uplifts others, who encourages growth, who shares positivity. Because like attracts like. When you become a source of good energy comes back to you. So if you want to be one decision away from a totally different life, start by looking at who's in your life right now. Are they helping you grow? Are they pushing you to be your best? Are they supporting your dreams? If the answer is no, it's time to rethink your circle. Change your environment, and your decisions will start to change too. And those decisions, they'll take you to places you never thought possible. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Choose wisely.